Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome back to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed, online and at the cinema. From the kids who are going to make it through this year if it kills them, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Ezra.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Helena.
I'm gonna back, be honest, etc.
Whoa, what's happening?
I wasn't sure if I had used that bit before. I looked at last year's doc, and it wasn't there. But I'm like, did we use that in a previous year? I don't know.
We may
it doesn't matter.
But you know what? It's the first one of the year. I feel like it's always appropriate. You know.
Yeah.
Reusing old.
If
bits.
we did, deal with it.
Yeah. Fucking get over it already, my god.
God, you just really hang on to stuff. I just can't deal with it sometimes. I'm going over to my mother's. I can't handle this right now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. No, but in all seriousness, welcome to a new year, new Sneople, new us.
Well,
no, it's the same old us.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 weeks. Nothing's really changed that much. It's been like 4 or 5 weeks, actually.
It's been a while.
Because I guess it was December 3rd was the last episode, and we were recording this, spoiler alert, on the 14th. So,
what?
Damn.
It's been a while. Yeah. I was busy. We were busy.
I was thinking earlier about, we've never really taken a break from this show in the time that we've been doing it. And I had sort of gotten into this thing of, because I had always had jobs that just got worse during the holidays, I never, I guess we take a break from our, tabletop game, but most of my shit just, didn't take a break. And, I was thinking, oh, man, I'm looking forward to recording Sneople again, which, feels good. It's amazing how sometimes you take a break from something, and you come back and you're like, yeah, I love this thing. I'm excited to do the thing, instead of being like, oh god, I just got off of work and I'm not going to be able to eat until 9:30 p.m. Which, I mean, is true, but is worth making the sacrifice because I love you guys and I like making the show.
Yeah. Basically, everything I do took a break in the month of December, which meant, for me, I spent a lot of that month twiddling my thumbs and being like, oh my god, is what having, free time is like?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You don't realize how much you've scheduled yourself until
God.
it all stops at once and you're like, holy fuck, I have no unstructured time left in my life.
I know, I played so many video games. Back to front, played a bunch of, and I was like, oh, wow. Sheesh.
I thought I watched more, stuff, and I was thinking, what did I do? I'm like, I watched my roommate play a lot of Animal Crossing. And I just, I don't know. I think I kind of just vibed a lot. I probably read a lot of fan fiction that I don't remember reading. Because I just needed to sort of, mindlessly put some stuff in my mouth. Brain mouth?
Yeah, brain mouth. Mouth brain. Yeah, very interesting. And now, of course, everything's starting to ramp up again with Infinity Break. And,
yeah.
Starting to get back to all the other tabletop games and Parascience and streaming, and which is cool. It's like, oh great, I get back to all the stuff I love to do, and also I'm like, oh god, my free time. It's slipping away, it's slipping out of my fingers. Yeah, because as you said, we've never taken a winter break for Sneople. We took a break last year when Helena was moving.
Yeah,
but that's really the closest we ever gotten. Traditionally, the other shows have broken for the holidays, and we haven't. We decided this year, with just there was so much stuff going on for all of us, and we just were like, fuck it, let's just do it. And now I'm like, wow, really makes a difference to have a few weeks where you're just not really doing much.
Yeah.
Maybe that just means I'm overbooked, but let's put that one to the side.
I mean, that's also
I'm excited to record Sneople again.
It's also true.
Are you really a millennial if you're not overbooked?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel overbooked. I have a lot of stuff I want to be doing.
That's fair.
But I'm not necessarily
that's fair.
doing it. I'm working at it. We're working at it.
I got overbooked to the point that
something.
like my I sort of re-quit one of my D&D games. And my roommate was like, also quit one of the D&D games that he was running and was like, I could run a home game. And my whole face lit up and he just looked at me, like pointed at me and he was like, you are not allowed to join any more tabletop games. I was like, I'm not allowed to join any more weekly He's like, Ezra? And I'm like, I'm not allowed to join any more tabletop games.
I know, I've had that as my rule down for like a year and a half, and yet, I don't know, somehow I ended up in 6 games, so...
That's so many games. Fortunately,
to
most
be fair,
that's like almost one for every day of the week!
Yeah, but most of them are bi-weekly. There's only one game I play every week.
Still, though.
That's the same. There's only one game I play every week. The other ones are bi-weekly or roughly bi-weekly.
Right, and 2 of them are for shows, so that's kind of like work.
Yeah,
I mean, not that those shows are work, but that I am doing them for podcasting, so it's
yeah.
different.
I mean, there's a different quality to like it's everybody's made a commitment to like record the thing and put out the show, and you know, it's work in the sense that it's like a commitment that you've made,
right? And it's usually a structured amount of time too. It's not like when you play tabletop, sometimes it's like, hey, we play until we're done playing, you know, or we'll play for like 4 hours, whereas these shows it's like, all right, we play for these like 3 hours, and that's or we play for 2 hours, and that's like our little block that we do it because we're recording episodes.
Yeah, so
we recorded a block of 1 or 2 episodes, so it's just it I don't know, weirdly the stuff I do for shows is sometimes less stressful because like it's more structured.
Right.
I know exactly what's going to look like every time I do it for the most part, unless there's technical issues.
Yeah, when we play, you never know what the fuck's
and I don't run any of those games either. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, also it's us, so you would have no idea what the fuck your fucking...
We could have a half an hour conversation about seatbelts in a car, and that would just be the session.
Oh, home games.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
fucking
like, love it.
It takes us half an hour to
but...
get there, but to get anywhere, because we're like, what's the situation? Where are we all sitting? What happens in the car? What funny stuff can we make happen in the car? It is my preferred way of playing, don't get me wrong, but it's very, very funny how much time we can spend on one particular
It's so funny. For one of the sessions, Helena did a transcript, and it was so funny reading back over that, being like, what the fuck does any of this mean?
Yeah. I want to go. God, it's one of the things I want to keep doing is transcribing the episodes. Yeah, it's just so much fun to listen back and just
Someday I would like to go back and just listen to all of our old. For reference, I record. This is like. So, okay, for reference, this episode from Sneople is going to be about what we watched this year, but also this is a let's catch up on what we've been doing, so whatever. Yeah. I record all of our tabletop sessions for me, because I have a bad memory, and it's hard for me to remember what's happened sometimes, so I like being able to go back and listen to the audio. For people who are not able to make it to the session, they can just listen to the episode and know exactly what happened. And also, it's nice to be able to, like, listen to your friends in those little snapshots of time. We don't record them we don't publish or edit them or anything. They're just for us.
Yeah.
But I found it's been very handy in terms of how I run my tabletop games to just have that audio recording. It also means that sometimes people do transcripts, which is very fun.
Yes. So fun. It's
and
so
I assume
good.
a nightmare.
Yeah, it is kind of a nightmare because I think, especially for me, like listening back, listening to my own audio on some of these episodes, is like when things were cutting in and out for, I don't know if I'm doing that anymore, but there's a period of time when we were recording in a certain way that my audio was just shit. So I kept on cutting in and out, and I was like, oh my god, what am I saying here? I remember what I said, but I don't remember what I was trying to...
It's
all these
tricky
moments
because...
lost in time, like tears in the rain.
Tears in the rain.
Yes.
We only have the 2 audio sources, and it's me with my professional microphone, and then my desktop audio where everyone's coming in through Discord. So one, can't listen to my tunes, done that on accident a couple times, and been like, oh fuck, the audio.
Yeah.
And two, everyone's just kind of mashed in together, so if I lose somebody, that's lost on the recording, too.
Yeah, we do have a tendency to... Well, because, you know, you're with your friends, so we do have a tendency to sometimes talk over each other or, like, you know, interrupt or speak at once or something, so... Which is, like, you know, fine. It's just for transcribing purposes. It's like, oh, well, that's gone. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's usually nothing terribly important.
No. And once again, this isn't going anywhere. It's just for us.
Yeah,
so, it's just kind of fun.
Posterity.
Hey, you want to know a completely unrelated fun fact that's just for us and also everyone listening to this podcast?
Yeah.
Apparently, there was 40,000 words worth of discussion on the Wikipedia talk page for the film Star Trek Into Darkness.
Fuck.
Just arguing about whether or not the word into in the title should be capitalized.
Are there, like, grammar rules about that?
I have no fucking idea. I just saw that. I think this is fucking hysterical.
No.
Star Trek Into Darkness, a movie that I notably forgot that they made. Because I once looked at one of you, I think, it was probably Maddie, and was like, when are they gonna make another Star Trek, like, reboot movie? And Maddie had to be like, they did, we watched it.
We saw it in theaters.
We went to a movie theater and paid money for that piece of shit film.
We sure
did. And then I so comprehensively and successfully just fucking excised it from my memory.
Absolutely.
That I forgot that they made it.
No word in that title should be capitalized because that movie does not deserve an ounce of
because it doesn't
respect
deserve
or anyone
respect.
else's. That movie is the most offensive piece of fucking garbage that I have ever seen. One of the most. I really hate it. I hate it very, very much. Like,
genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever paid money to see.
Note to the editor being me. We should absolutely do a Sneople episode. That's movies we hate.
Yes, definitely. How long am I allowed to talk about Rise of Skywalker?
As long as you like.
Did you see the video essay that I shared in the Discord channel talking about Rise of Skywalker?
Not yet. I'm gonna go watch that maybe tonight, but Kaya and I have to go watch the last 2 episodes of the Wheel of Time series, which, boy, I have things to say about the Wheel of Time series. Guys, it's good.
Good.
Maybe we should get started on talking about what we Sneep in?
Yeah, we should get started on the subject of this podcast that we've been recording for checks now.
For like 16 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
I think it's only been going for 10. It's fine. So I'll go first. I watched No Country for Old Men, The Big Sleep, and the 2007 version of 3:10 to Yuma as a triple feature with Ben.
Wow.
That's so many dudes.
Yeah, it was. So the idea I went over it. We weren't sure what we were going to do. We were just going to hang out, whatever. And he was like, we had been talking about No Country for Old Men, and he was like, this is Maddie Bait. You're going to love this movie. Do you want to watch it? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And he pitched it to me as kind of a modern Western noir vibe, and I was like, I mean, I love that kind of shit, yeah. Loved it, really into it. And then I was like, hey, do you want to watch just like an actual noir? And he was like, yeah, so we watched The Big Sleep. Nice. And then we were like, we should watch an actual Western. Sort of, like a modern Western. So then we watched 3:10 to Yuma. And actually it was a really fun triple feature of movies I really enjoyed. I had never seen any of them before, so those were all brand new watches for me, and nice. They were all a treat. And then Ezra was in town.
Yeah! I very briefly came to visit. That,
yes.
The drive down and back, I am never doing that again, because that's the closest I've ever come to falling asleep behind the wheel.
Ew!
Terrifying on the way back, but
early.
I lived. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But it was totally where I was down for 2 days. I had brunch 2 days in a row, which is like the most decadent thing I've ever done. So it was so worth it because I'm gonna get sappy and gay for a second.
Brunch.
We had Sneople
brunch. I forgot
brunch.
for a moment that we had Sneople brunch, and then I was like, "You did have brunch," and I was there.
It was
Helena,
great.
it was like the Wizard of Oz.
And you were there.
But but it was just me recalling things that happened to me.
Listeners, I am not lying when I say that I will literally like hug Maddie, and I swear to God my blood pressure drops like 5 points.
Oh.
Yeah, I was saying something similar to Leia yesterday. I was like, I won't say what it was, but I was annoyed about something, and I went into the Sneople Discord to complain about it, and then Maddie started talking back to me, and I was like, not talking back to me, but like getting in conversation with me, and I was like, oh, I feel so much better now. You're right. It's not that big of a deal. And Leia was like, oh, Maddie's so great. And I was like, yeah, Maddie's so great. This is the conversation that we had when we were watching Psycho. Anyway.
I do my best, you know.
Yeah.
But so Z came down. We had a Sneople brunch. It was delightful. We had some very good food. When Z and I watched on the 20th anniversary of Fellowship, we watched Fellowship, which was real nice. Yeah. Every time, I think, maybe this time I won't cry about the end of Fellowship, but I do every single time. It just gets me every time. Yeah. I always am like, no, I'm stronger now, and I'm not. I am not immune to Boromir.
No, none of us are. The thing that also just, like, gets me, I mean, it always gets me, but it gets me to, like, varying degrees, is after, at the end, in Parth Galen, like, after Frodo, like, runs away from Boromir, he physically, like, runs into Aragorn, and is the, like, you know, like, would you, like, take the ring and destroy it? And the fucking way that Viggo Mortensen looks at Elijah Wood when he, like, folds his hands gently over the ring, and I'm just like,
it's so much,
eviscerated.
Should I talk about briefly, because I can also just get to it when I talk about what I watched, but I also watched Fellowship, so I can insert my little anecdote about that.
I mean, this is going to be the whole episode as us talking about what we saw, so, like, we can just kind of cut in and out as we desire.
I haven't gotten to Two Towers Return of the King yet, but I watched Fellowship as well before I went on my break, and I had the same thing where I was like, well, also I started it at a certain time where I couldn't finish the whole movie in one night. So that was part of it, and so I wasn't as, like, emotionally raw as I usually am, and I think I had made it all the way through to the end without crying, and I was like, god damn, I'm really gonna do it this time. And then fucking Sam goes after Frodo in the boat, and he gets on the boat, and then Frodo hugs him, and literally, it's like that scene I always think of in Bridesmaids, I think it is, when Kristen Wiig's character is watching Castaway, and Wilson, the volleyball, is floating away from Tom Hanks, and she's just sitting on her couch sobbing Wilson. It's like that, basically. It's like immediately the waterworks turn on. Full on sobbing.
So the fucking parallel to Return of the King with the hands, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Also, like, the way he says, he told me, like, don't you go leaving him Samwise Gamgee, I don't mean to. Like, yeah, man,
it's just so
where was his Oscar?
I don't know, where was his
Oscar?
My grand plan is to get into embroidery, and I want to embroider, like, a pair of things that are those two hand clasps someday.
Yeah, that'll be so cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so check back in, like, 3 years when I've gotten better at embroidery.
I just heard my roommates give a shout of disgust from the living room. I wonder what happened in Face Off.
Oh, well, they'll at least report back to us later.
What is Face Off?
It's a makeup show, right?
The effects. Is it the effects makeup show?
It's the effects makeup show.
There's an effects makeup show called Face Off. The first Face Off is the John Woo movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Where
I was gonna say, are they watching the movie?
They're
watching the film. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
No, never mind. We're good. Okay, we're on the same page now.
I was gonna say it's either the special effects makeup show, which, to be fair, I would make those kinds of sounds about. So, like, no judgment. Or they're talking about that movie I've never seen.
Yeah. This is a pro Nick Cage household. Nick Cage is the patron saint of this apartment, so we have been trying to watch all of his movies, including really, really shitty ones. So, I mean, this movie is not shitty. It is actually quite delightful. I just want to make that very clear. But also, there's some crazy shit going on in this here film.
Have you all seen Con Air yet?
No, but Elena watched that over the break without me. It's fine.
I've never seen it. We're going to take
someday.
a quick peek into my storied and horrible past here. It's very, like, important in Homestuck.
That's
somehow
that's
I wasn't
that I didn't
expecting
think
you
I was
to
ever
say
going to hear
it,
again.
I knew as I was forming the sentence that I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to predict what I'm about to say right now. Not that it has plot importance, but that it just comes up a bunch.
That's really funny.
And so that is my primary association with that movie. And so I just sometimes I'm like, I don't think I could ever watch that movie, probably, but I think about it sometimes. He sure has a haircut in that movie.
He does.
Yeah. Thank you for the support.
Oh, boy.
Okay. But back to what I saw.
Yes.
Also, Helena was in town, obviously.
Yes, I was.
We watched Black Christmas together, which we've been meaning to do for quite some time. Very good. So glad I finally saw it. That ending was just fucking chef's kiss. So good. Obsessed with it. Glad that I watched it with you specifically. It was very funny that your dad walked in and was like, "What the hell are you guys watching?" And we were like, it's a slasher, but also it's a Christmas movie. And he was like, "All right, whatever."
And he joined us. Yeah.
And he joined us. Yeah. It was like separately. Nice to see your parents again. Obviously nice to see you, but you called me a bitch in the street or whatever, so.
That's true. Well, I called you a homo.
That was so
That's
funny.
different.
No, you called me a homo. I think I called you a bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's fine. This is
So, but also I had seen you a couple times previously, so it was, nice to, we used to do that a lot in high school, as I would come over and we would just watch movies at your parents' house, so I was like, oh, memories, but now they're giving me alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What
yeah.
Something that my dad made, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I rewatched It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas. Had kind of a weird Christmas this year. Not a bad one, just like a lot of stuff got canceled or whatever. So I like had dinner at my mom's and then went home and was like, I'm gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life. And I did, and it was perfect and wonderful and made me cry, as it does all the time. Love that movie. Perfect. I didn't watch Die Hard this year like I normally do because I didn't really wrap gifts on Christmas Eve like I normally do. I got my booster on the 23rd, so on the 23rd I was like, I'm fine. And the 24th I was like, oh, I feel like shit. Or was it the 22nd? I got my booster the day I hung out with you, and the day after I was fine. And by Christmas Eve I was just like down.
So wild.
So I didn't watch Die Hard like I normally would have.
I got my booster around that time too, but I didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't have a reaction to the other vaccines, but for some reason I just got and I didn't feel sick. I just felt very fatigued. Like there was one point I was like laying in bed just like playing video games, and I was like, oh, I should get up now, and then I like couldn't, and I was like, oh, it caught up with me, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I felt fine by the next day. I just like had the one day where my body was like, you need to just lay down for a bit, bud. And I was like, okay, sure. Whatever you say, boss. Leia, Madeline, and I did Lord of the Rings New Year's. Obviously, Ezra and Helena were out of town and also working, I think, both of you.
Yeah,
I did.
But everybody got tested and everybody has been boosted and vaccinated, so we were able to do the three of us, which is like, I haven't had more than one guest in my home in like 2 years, and Amanda came home at one point and was like, we have guests in our home. I was like, I know. Madeline made waffles. I made soup. It was great. There were many tears to be had. It was so nice to be able to do that in person. God, I fucking love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The streak continues unbroken, and next year, knock on wood, we'll be able to all do it together.
Yeah.
Or do something together, even if it isn't on New Year's. And then I watched Encanto just kind of on a whim. obviously it's been making the rounds, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, I want to watch something, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. Oh my god, I like cried. I was surprised by the amount of sobbing I did. Something, it just obviously is very I'm trying to figure out how the way I want to phrase this. It is very specific to like Colombian history and Colombian culture, which is obviously something I don't know a lot about, and I read up on, and was very cool to like see that in the movie. But along with that was also just very poignantly a movie about like family and loss and like generational trauma and grief. That really struck me in a way that I was like not prepared for. So very, very good. And also was like just beautiful. The dancing specifically struck me as just incredible. It was very fluid, very cool to see. Music is by Lin-Manuel. My mouth just stopped working. Lin-Manuel Miranda, obviously, and you can tell. You listen to that and you're like, that's a Lin score, all right. Which is not necessarily negative. It was very hard to unhear that, but like still good music. Yeah. I would say is worth a watch. Even if you're not like, I'm not really a big Disney buff anymore, but I was like, this was like still a nice movie and a fun watch. So yeah. That was the main bulk of it. Like I said, played a lot of video games. Listened to a lot of audiobooks, did kind of a lot of like handcraft kind of things. Just kind of let my brain do other stuff for a little bit. But yeah, that was me.
Good shit.
Sweet.
I listened to Company, finally. I didn't watch it, but I did finally listen to Company.
Hell yeah.
And have been listening to it basically nonstop ever since. So
yeah, mood.
There you go.
Good and reasonable reaction.
Yes.
Now,
gosh, should I go next?
This is one of those ones where like you have by far the longest list, so it's the question of, do we want to go out on Helena, or do we want to like?
That's true.
Do you want to go now in case
you want to break it up? Yeah.
I'm good with you going if you want.
Go for it, Z.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure. I can. Yeah, cool. I have sneeped some things. So yeah, obviously, watched fucking Fellowship of the Ring, and just had a lot of. I can't believe it's been 20 years, because like I read The Lord of the Rings the summer before the movie came out, so that was sort of a big deal for me, because like I turned 30 this fall, and it was like, wow, it really has been, literally 2/3 of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is pretty cool, honestly. I guess so the last time we recorded was December 3rd, right?
No, it was when the episode came out, so it would have been the week after.
Would have been the week
before.
The week before. Okay. It's not on this list.
Whoa.
I got blazed and watched Angels and Demons.
No.
Which is notably extremely bad. I was having okay. What I should have just done is watched Indiana Jones, because what I was craving was that like sort of adventure-y puzzle solving type. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's a little bit, it's like mystery-y, but it's like fucking like archaeology mystery shit. I should have just watched like, I don't know, fucking Tomb Raider or something, except for so many things in that genre are really colonialist.
Yeah, true.
And okay, I don't know. Somebody was talking about it, and like Ewan McGregor's performance in that movie got brought up because he's like unhinged, and he's really good at playing unhinged. I just like it when he plays zealots. Okay, he's really good at it. But also that movie is very bad. And I thought that Alfred Molina was in it, but he's in the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, I told you
so
that.
So now I have to get high and watch the Da Vinci. Okay, well, I don't know. I should have listened to you.
I mean, that was a really bonkers episode where we talked about that, because that was the episode where Maddie found out what the plot of the Da Vinci Code was, which was kind of a joy that eclipsed all others.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Getting to experience
that was really good.
So
anyway, and so we all have moments of weakness. It was that movie is extremely bad, and I had a very good time watching
I cannot remember, I swear to God, if I had seen it or not, because I think what happens is I read the book. And that must be what that is, because...
Cool, don't watch the movie, because they took the book and they, like, excised some of the, like, more bananas parts of the book, which, like, does not serve the film well. Also, it is the single least charismatic performance Tom Hanks has ever given, which is, like, a fucking accomplishment. Like, how do you... I don't even remember who the fuck directed that movie, but they managed to make Tom Hanks, like, boring.
Oh, rough.
So, like I said, unfortunately, Ewan McGregor was still kind of in his, like, twink phase, and I have no defenses against that.
Yeah.
I watched The Matrix Resurrections, despite not having seen the first two Matrix movies since I was in high school, and never having seen the third Matrix movie. So I feel like it was a little bit lost on me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good time, but, like, I don't have... if I ever had strong feelings about The Matrix, they have faded over the years. I think I remember liking it a lot in high school, but it has been at least 15 years since I've seen The Matrix, and I sort of haven't really thought that much about it since.
Right.
I don't know. It was pretty good.
My dad wants me to see it really bad. He loves
totally
The Matrix.
Worth watching.
And he's like, you gotta watch it because we could talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves are still, like, just them looking at each other can still fuel a blockbuster.
Right.
Yeah, they're both still hot.
They're both still very hot. Jesus Christ, Carrie-Anne Moss is hot.
She's so hot.
She's so hot. I like, especially because, like, she has entered sort of the phase where, like, she's my type and people should and do tease me about it, which is, like, older middle-aged women with short dark hair, because I had a formative crush on my high school fucking European history teacher, who I just found out from somebody I knew from high school I haven't spoken to in literally like 10 years is retiring this year, so shout out to Miss Oglesby. Get the fuck out of Uncle Tio, it sucks there. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think I was listening to the Overinvested podcast episode on The Matrix Resurrections. Is it Resurrection or Resurrections?
Resurrections.
I have to look this up. It's gonna bug me. Is Resurrections plural? Okay.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, somebody made a comment, I don't remember who it was, but they made a comment about how sort of just, like, earnest the Wachowski films are. Like, their whole oeuvre is just very earnest. And I was like, yeah, that's deep down, like, that's why I like it. Yeah. Same reason I like Jupiter Ascending, which is a mess, but it's, an earnest mess, and that goes a long way for me.
Right.
I think, like, there's an element of just, like, unself-consciousness to some art that I find very, I, like, used to like stuff that felt like it was kind of too cool for what it was doing, and I just don't anymore. I'm not too cool for pretty much anything. I'm not cool. I'm many things. Cool is not one of them. And then I also had a weird Christmas because usually I work on and it's for the past however many years I have worked on Christmas, and then like just been home alone because whoever I was living with was off like doing shit with their family. But one of my roommates like couldn't go anywhere because we got egregiously snowed in. We had so much fucking snow over like the end of December and the first week of January in Bellingham. It was such a shit show. Oh my god. But anyway, so like White Christmas, yeah, cute, great, whatever. but I was like, there's someone in my house on Christmas. Like, I literally don't know how to react to that. I, like, forgot how to be a person for a hot second there. And got into this weird mode of, like, do I have to, like, do Christmas for my roommate who is here and, like, does not really care about Christmas? Because, I don't know, I just am like that. But
is that
anyway,
what you do? Is that what you...
I was like, I literally, like, I am so used to just getting drunk alone and having that be exactly what I want to be doing. And so, I made cocktails, and Kevin and I watched, And Then There Were None miniseries of the, screen caps of, shirtless Aidan Turner fame, and Murder on the Orient Express for the bedillionth time, as a Christie for Christmas double feature, which was really fun, because,
Yeah, I love that.
It was just, that combo is fucking great, by the way. Two extremely stylish and beautiful, like just visually very well designed Christie adaptations. And Then There Were None miniseries just is really good. Yeah. I, like, forgotten how good it was. There's just a lot of, like, really good performances in it. A friend of mine got me into a show, like a British show called Big Dreams, Small Spaces, which is about people, like, renovating their tiny little postage stamp sized gardens.
Aww.
Hell yeah.
Really, I was like, fuck, I want a yard. I want a yard so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I want a yard. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Speaking of the Wachowskis, I watched V for Vendetta, kind of like on a whim. And that was really fun because V for Vendetta came out when I was in middle school. And I definitely saw it. I don't remember if I saw it in a theater or if I saw it later. But I had seen it quite a while ago in sort of one of those things where, like, in a lot of ways I was a very different person at age, 15 or 16 than I am now. Obviously, most people are, but, like, sort of in the way that, like, 15 or 16-year-old me could never have predicted growing up into the person that I am now. Mm-hmm. And it was just interesting to go back to it because I remembered the sort of cultural phenomenon of V for Vendetta much more concretely than I remembered the actual film.
Mm-hmm. I had a very similar experience. I rewatched it recently with Leia. And I remember watching it and being like, oh, I remember, like, the experience of watching this with my dad more than I remember, like, anything about this movie.
Yeah.
I, like, forgot one of the twists of the movie. Because I remembered everything about that scene and then forgot the twist.
Yeah, I had forgotten a lot of it, which I had also, like, I've read the graphic novel, which I've also completely forgotten about. But it's like, I remembered all of the sort of, all of the things that people picked up with the Guy Fawkes mask and stuff, and I didn't remember, like, the film, which is actually, like, quite emotional.
Yeah, it is.
I had a much stronger emotional reaction to that movie than I had any idea I was going to. I didn't remember how sad it was. In, like, a good way. And also, like, I just wanna... What was it? I watched it because somebody was, like, rude about Hugo Weaving on Twitter.
It wasn't that a friend, like, of somebody you knew?
No,
maybe?
it was... Yes, it wasn't, they weren't, like, rude about it.
Okay,
what it was is I had like a work thing. Yeah, I had a work thing, and we were comparing, like, Cameo, which is that thing where you can pay people to, like, record voice messages for you, and we should call them time to leave it. Hugo Weaving is on there, and we were comparing Hugo Weaving and, oh my god, what's the name of the gal who played Matilda? Yes. It was Mara Wilson. We were comparing the two and trying to guess which one cost more. And Hugo Weaving cost like $98, so he cost less.
Damn.
But the person who was doing the, like, game was like, and it was Mr. Smith from The Matrix, and I'm like, you mean Hugo Weaving? And she was like, I don't know, I've never seen The Matrix. I haven't seen, and I was like, Elrond? And she was like, I haven't seen Lord of the Rings either. And I was like, that's fair, but, like, that's Hugo Weaving. And one of my coworkers was like, you mean, it was like the two of us were like, yeah, like, that's Hugo Weaving, notable actor. And of course I had to go to the Discord and be like, guys, guess what just fucking happened? And there was a whole uproar about
it's
it.
only that he's just like one of the most prominent Australian film actors from the past fucking like 30, some years.
Yeah, but like, to be fair, if you're not like a movie person, like,
I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of these people.
I accept that they exist, but I'm tired of them.
Oh, I don't know this person's name. It's fucking right there on the screen. Fucking learn it. People can remember the most inconsequential bullshit known to man, but they can't remember a name like Hugo Weaving, which is a very memorable name. Makes me want to die. Makes me want to throw a dish at the wall like I'm in a fucking Albie play.
Anyway, so that's what happened.
Now, if you transform into an Edward Albee play, I am going to have to leave this podcast.
Oh god.
Anyway, yeah.
So that was just a taste of what happened in the Discord.
Is that he's an incredibly good actor, and also
he's so
that
good.
Man can say anything.
He could say anything.
Like, I just the amount of
cameo.
You can hand. God, fuck off. You can hand him, like, whatever, like, speculative fiction nonsense you want, and he just, like, you just believe it. Like, the fucking opening, like, the opening V monologue, where all of the fucking, where it just is like, we went through the V section of the dictionary, should sound just
stupid.
Cartoonish. And
he
he's just
nails
like,
it. He kills it.
He's like, here's this guy, he fucking does this because he's a nut, but he's a real human being who's just also a nut. Also, like, you never see that man's face, and he made me cry.
Oh my god. Yeah, he is doing, it's very Carl Urban and Dread, where, like, you're not seeing the face, but, like, you know that face is doing stuff, and you can feel it. That man is full-on, like, acting in there.
He's just really good.
He's so good.
He's so fucking good.
King of genre.
Yeah, anyway, I love Hugo Weaving, and now I want to go watch Priscilla, Queen of the Desert again. Also, like, just...
Hell yeah.
I know he's done, like, quite a bit of, like, Australian indie shit, and I'm like, time to just go on a Hugo Weaving binge.
Yes, invite
he's just so good. And then the last thing is that me and my other roommate have fallen directly down the Wheel of Time rabbit hole.
Which is so... I have never read any of those books.
I have never read these books. I like,
but then you turned me
bounced
around.
off of the books at least once, probably twice, as an adolescent. When I was deep in my, like, a large fantasy book, I would like to, like, crack open my head and shove this entire book directly into it. I just couldn't get into it for whatever reason. And I was like, okay, cool, like, I'm gonna watch the show because I'm in the mood for some kind of just, like, fantasy stuff that I can, like, let wash over me. Dude, this show is good. It's legitimately good. The characters are great. This show does character introductions masterfully.
What is it on again?
It's on Jeff's house site.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, Amazon is bad, but also if you want to, I don't know.
You can get it other places,
Yeah, you can get it other places. You can get anything other places.
It's true.
I am like, after we finish recording tonight, Kaya and I are gonna go watch the last 2 episodes of Wheel of Time, and I'm like, I can't wait. It's it's beautiful. I mean, seriously, it is gorgeous. The cinematography is fabulous, all of the, like, settings and stuff. But also, like, the production design is so good. All of the costuming is gorgeous, and it's, like, well lit. It's a fantasy show that's well lit. Eat shit, Game of Thrones. Like, there are night scenes with black actors, and I can see what is going on their faces because somebody knew how to fucking light. I was like, cool. I'm not having a problem seeing, and it's not like, because sometimes you'll watch things and be like, well, I can sort of see that person purely because they are white, because your lighting training is racist. It's really good, and Rosamund Pike is just, like, really beautiful. She's just really beautiful. I have a Rosamund Pike problem. Yeah. I don't know. And also, hilariously, this show is just wall-to-wall me being like, oh, hey, it's that person. Like, Peter DeJersey of, I mean, other things, but mostly playing Horatio to David Tennant's Hamlet fame.
Oh, no,
is in that show for,
him.
like, he's in it for, like, 5 minutes, dude, and he put it, like, went from, like, head down to head up on screen. I out loud was like, oh, Peter DeJersey's in this, and guys looking at me like, oops, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he's on Cameo.
Yeah. No shit, really?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna say that about everybody now.
I'm just gonna ignore you. Yeah, but the only problem with the Wheel of Time series being good is that there is some part of me that is now trying to develop hopes for the Amazon Tolkien show, which is unacceptable.
You never know.
Because I know, and the only way I'm going to survive it without, like, you know, getting in a million fights with people on the internet is if I just have no expectations whatsoever. I'm still gonna get in fights with people on the internet.
Well, I think I'll probably delete Twitter.
My plan is
just to delete the app.
Yeah, I've already deleted the Twitter app off my phone, so we're like halfway there. It's very nice.
So strong.
I'm so
thinking
proud
about
of you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go watch the Wheel of Time series because it's good.
I've been listening to this audiobook that my dad recommended. I actually read it originally like years ago, and it's very much that like kind of classic, like dense fantasy. And like, God, man,
ooh, what's
as someone who it's Theft of Swords is the omnibus, and it has 2 books in it. But the first one is Theft of Swords.
Ooh,
and like. Man, I forgot how, like, when you grow up on that stuff, going back to it is like, yeah, man, feels good. It feels organic. And, like, sometimes you're like, okay, yawn. Like, I wish they would stop doing, like, this, that, or the other. But, like, man, sometimes it's just, like, classic, straight up and down, like, fantasy rips.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just
nice.
It
really does. Sometimes you just are like, yeah, I would like to read or consume something where you have, like, a map and a glossary, and I have to learn a whole bunch of fictional, like, history of magic and politics. I'm like, yes.
I love when there's a scene between
lore.
2 characters, and one character doesn't know very much. The other character has to tell them a history around the world so the reader can learn about it. Sometimes I want exposition.
I know,
that's
like,
really heavy-handed.
Sometimes I want exposition, and like I don't want exposition. Sometimes, but it's like I want exposition in like speculative fiction
the plot
stuff.
of the gods. Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I do want to know the, like, you know, 1,000 years ago in the age of heroes, blah blah blah, and like this, that we thought that this thing had been fixed forever, but oh no, evil can never truly be defeated. I don't know. Look, my dad, when I was 9 years old, my father handed me a fucking copy of Lord of the Rings and went, you have to read this before you can go see this movie, and I did, and it made me who I am today.
We've been poisoned ever since. Actually, I forgot about this, but it keeps cracking me up when I'm listening to the audiobook, but there's a character in the first part of whatever the fuck I just said. The book I just said.
Theft of Swords?
Theft?
Right?
I was trying to remember if it's theft or thief. Doesn't matter.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. Where there's this, like, this wizard named Ezra, and every time they talk about him, I'm like, Ezra? He's great. I love him. He's for what I recall, one of my favorite characters.
I think it's
very
important
funny
for you to know that I could just check this out literally right now from the library.
Yeah, I checked out the audiobook. My daddy and I share an Audible account, but
nice.
Yeah,
Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. Borrowing?
Hell yeah. Yeah, he wrote, this is the sideshow we did with Sneople that's called Book Talk. He wrote, like, there's 3 books in the main, 3 of these omnibuses in the main series, and 3 prequels. And he wrote all of them and self-published them and was like, yeah, I mean, I mostly wrote them for me, but I guess I'll put them out on the internet. And they got real popular real fast.
Hell yeah.
And got picked up and published, and he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna write anymore though. Like, I'm done. Like, I did that. It's good. It's nice because the 2 main protagonists are a couple of dudes, and it's very much a, like, paladin, like, warrior with a moral code, and then, like, sneaky thief, snarky thief. And they're best buddies, and they always refer to each other as, like, partners, and they're like, yeah, no, like, I love him. He's my best friend, and like we do everything together, and I trust him with my life. And it's like, God, how fucking refreshing is that? Dudes are like just touching each other all the time, and there's no big deal about it. It's just like, yeah, like this is a fantasy without like toxic masculinity. Holy shit! Obviously, they both have female romantic interests, but like still,
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christ. They all have two hands. I'm not worried about it.
Something about the sentence, they all got two hands, I'm not worried about it. It's just like, yeah, that's a healthy attitude to have about fiction, I think.
Me approaching any fiction. Everybody here's got two hands for the most part. They'll figure it out. And if they don't physically have two hands, they emotionally have two hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right,
Helena time?
that's... I think that's everything. I don't know. I finally, for real, honest to God, finished the Silmarillion, so, like...
Yeah, the
check that off my
Silmarillion
bucket list. Also, yeah, I need to update my status in the Discord from the Silmarillion struggler to the Silmarillion finisher.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that. I can do that real quick.
Similar. I can't even fucking say the name of the book. The champion of the Sim.
Yep, that's me.
That's you.
It's so funny, it, like, took so long, and then speaking of world building, I just all of a sudden, like, that part of my brain, like, came out of hibernation, and I was like, wait, this is just, like, all I want to do is learn about this fucking fictional history of elves. Yeah. Alright, Helena, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I want to watch a whole bunch of these.
Yeah, get into it.
I guess let's start with the fact that I did go home over the winter break for a couple of weeks, so a lot of what I watched was impacted by the fact that I was with my parents. My parents got me freaking addicted to a fucking mystery show called Shetland, which they were watching when I came over there, and like my mom is absolutely obsessed with British mystery shows. It's her favorite thing to watch. Is just like British people killing each other. I guess that's her thing. So they were like watching Shetland, and I was like in the room while they were watching Shetland, and then I was like, every night we'd be like, "What are we gonna watch tonight?" I was like, they were like, "Oh, you can watch an episode of Shetland," you know. And we were watching it even when Maddie came over, too. And then, like, that, we, like, watched, like, 3...
It's true, I watched, like, 3 episodes and didn't watch the finale of that season. I want to keep watching, though. I really liked what I watched.
It's very addictive. It's very enjoyable. If any of you nerds out there watched the 2000 series, BBC series Primeval, and if you watched it because you probably saw the sci-fi television series Alice... and saw Andrew Lee Potts as the distressingly hot interpretation of the Mad Hatter. He was on this show called Primeval, which was something about dinosaurs.
Holy fuck,
Never
really?
forget. Yeah, he was, I remember.
What?
Yeah.
I never watched that show, but I seriously considered it.
I always wondered why it got so popular on my fucking Tumblr.
Well, there you go.
That's the reason. I did not also
There's
did not
the
watch
DNA.
it, but my friend Emma watched it for him, and I remember...
It looked real bad.
It looked really bad. The BBC budget was not great at that time also.
Yeah.
We were in the sort of...
Or ever.
Or ever, but like worse than. But the lead on that show is the lead detective on the show as well. And there's,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's him. And
the pieces.
He's like a dad to this, he's a dad to a teenage daughter who is not he is not her biological dad, but he married her mom when she was a baby. So she's like, he's her dad, but her biological dad is on the island, and they kind of like co-parent together, and they have a really amazing relationship that I'm a big fan of. They are the worst. They are the best. It's a very enjoyable show with very heavy Scottish accents. And I've also continued watching What We Do in the Shadows with Sage, which only gets better and better with every single episode, believe it or not. And I also, like, book talk wise, started reading, I started reading A Little Life over the break. I don't know. I don't think I like it, but I'm gonna see it through to the end. It's 800 fucking pages, and I'm almost done with it. So
damn, okay.
It did the dang thing. So we'll see. I know opinions on that book are very divided, and I'm kind of...
I don't even know what this book is.
Oh my god. It was this big book from, 2015, I think. It came out that got heralded by a lot of people as, the great gay novel, kind of, but it's also known for, emotionally destroying people, and just, making you cry a bunch. It hasn't, weirdly enough. It's just, so full of suffering and trauma for one character in particular that it's emotionally really intense.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of not seeing the point of all of it at this point in the book. But that's my personal experience with it. We'll see what happens when I actually finish it. And I finally got my hands on Observations by Gaslight, which is the new Lindsay Fay collection of Sherlock Holmes stories, which has been delayed for a month or something like that, or a few weeks. I'm so happy. I started it the other day. I'm just so happy to finally read it. She writes the best Sherlock Holmes pastiches. I love her so much.
Fuck yeah.
So I got that. So the movies that I watched can roughly be divided into the movies that made me cry and the movies that did not make me cry, I think. So I'm going to kind of go work that way. The movies that didn't make me cry, I watched It Happened One Night, which is that classic romantic comedy with Clark Gable and, oh my god, I'm forgetting your name, Queen Clarabout. That's the name. And you watch it and you're like... I mean, I know everybody has said this before, but literally it is the blueprint for, Clarabout, Claudette Colbert. Fucking hell. I've become one of those people.
I had this moment of maybe?
Yeah, way too late. That's what, I knew that was wrong. Okay, so that's who it is. Claudette Colbert, Clark Gable. This movie is the blueprint for every single romantic comedy ever made. And you watch it and you're like, it literally is the blueprint for every single, it's just every trope you can ever imagine and every tag in AO3. If I want to make it bring that fandom brain into it, it's delightful. Clark Gable is unfortunately very hot in it. It's really
so
frustrating. So I would definitely recommend it. I don't know if it's still playing because I watched it on the Criterion channel and I think it left at the end of the month. But if you could find a way to watch it, I
feel like I watched it possibly on Jeff's site or IMDb or something.
I mean, it's an old enough movie.
I think it's kicking around on one of those random free video sites.
Yeah, absolutely. Tubi might have it or something.
Yeah,
it's very fun. I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I had checked out from the library a while ago. It is the best movie I've ever seen. So fucking good.
Hell yeah.
The score is, I'm obsessed with it. It is a story about men putting each other into situations repeatedly. That's delightful. It is a Western, of course.
We love when men put each other into situations. This is true.
It's very much the story of two men. Well, I mean, it's a story of three men, obviously, because there's three of them in the title right there. But mostly it's the story of two men who are not quite friends, but not quite enemies, who have to work together to get one thing before the other guy does, to get gold, basically, before the other guy does. And their friendship is very heartwarming, and they're despicable and great. And it's so epic and, just so well directed and staged and filmed. It's the film. It is so good. I also rewatched His Girl Friday, which I hadn't done in a long time.
Hell
I remember absolutely nothing about it, I realized, except Cary Grant. He's not only very hot in it, but Rosalind Russell's also amazing in it. I was in love with her. And that one was a great experience. There's a great script. When I went home with my parents, I rewatched. I wanted to show them the Documentary Now episode of that parodied original cast album Company, partly because somebody that we knew was in it. So I showed them that, and then I went back and we watched the documentary again. So that's 3 times I've watched that in less than 2 months. We also rewatched John Carpenter's The Thing for my birthday.
Hell yeah.
Because I got it on DVD when I checked out the Red Shoes, or when I bought the Red Shoes for the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble. And I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. So we watched The Thing. We had a good time. And neither of them had really seen it all the way through yet. And I also then rewatched The Red Shoes too, which was great. It looks amazing. I of course rewatched Black Christmas with Maddie. I'm gonna skip over that. I got home and I watched Power of the Dog, which is that new Western from Jane Campion, which is getting a lot of acclaim. I am
so curious about this movie.
It's good. I would watch it.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. It's also playing in some theaters, but obviously, like, right now, things are very shaky at that front. But yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's just about this, like, really intense, troubled is the wrong word, sort of dark rancher, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and his brother, Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons marries this widow, played by Kirsten Dunst, and adopts, like her son from her previous marriage. And Benedict Cumberbatch is, like, I don't want to reveal it because it's kind of revealed over the course of the film, but for reasons initially hidden to the audience, is like in a very dark place and is psychologically kind of torturing Kirsten Dunst's character a little bit. Not torturing her, just like shutting her out and making her feel very insane. And so there's sort of this like power dynamic between all of those characters on this ranch in Montana. You should watch it. It's very good. And I think that, it pains me to say it, I think that Benedict Cumberbatch is quite good in it. His American accent finally passes muster.
Oh, wow. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Which is great.
I mean, I like, my feelings about Benedict Cumberbatch, I feel like are sort of one of those things where I'm like, I mean, obviously some of it is just like hype fatigue.
Yeah, yeah. My frustration is like, the roles that he has been playing lately, and this is, to be fair, is kind of similar to a lot of the roles that he's been playing, but also isn't. It's just like the roles that he's been cast in since he's made his Hollywood debut have been kind of like boring. in terms of like what I want to see from him and what I think he's most interesting in. So it's been frustrating on that front.
I mean, yeah, this was one of those ones where I was like, oh god, I'm so tired of Benedict Cumberbatch and stuff. But like, Jane Campion,
she's great. Yeah,
I mean, Jane Campion made one of my like all-time favorite films. Just, I'm so like afraid I'm gonna fuck this up. I mean, she wrote and directed Bright Star, which is one of my favorite films.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, I was wondering which one you were going to mention. Yeah,
it's Bright Star.
Yeah, I haven't seen Bright Star. I'd like to. Yeah.
Hey, Helena, what are you doing? I mean, I'm busy this weekend, but what are you doing like next weekend?
I think that I might have a day there where I'm free.
Okay, cool, because, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I would love to watch Bright Star with you. Hey, are you ready to just get your heart broken?
You know how much I love Ben Whishaw. I adore him.
I do know how much you love Ben Whishaw.
Ends of this earth.
He is truly exquisite in that film.
Oh, God.
And as is Abby Cornish, so, let's go, fam.
Let's do it.
Maddie, you are obviously also invited, but this is just, like, such Helena bait, I can't even function.
It is Helena bait.
No, I understand.
You're welcome, Maddie. You're welcome to come. I also
keep talking.
Rewatched. I also rewatched Sherlock Jr., which is my favorite Buster Keaton movie. Is amazing as always. I laughed my ass off at so many little things. This give me so much joy. Also, it's French New Wave month at the Criterion Channel, so I have like a bunch of French movies, that I'm trying to get through that may not be to everybody's taste, so I'm sorry. But I watched Hiroshima Mon Amour, which was devastating, and I also watched Cleo from 5 to 7, which is my first Agnes Varda movie. Finally, I know which has been a long time coming. It's fucking amazing. Great movie. I also rewatched on Tuesday, I think. I rewatched Psycho with Leia, who was watching it for the first time because Leia really wanted to see it, and we had a very good time. Mostly because of Anthony Perkins, just to see him do his thing. He's so fucking good. So that's the stuff that didn't make me cry. Okay, so going back to the beginning here. Obviously I mentioned I watched Fellowship. I also, of course, for the holiday season, watched It's a Wonderful Life with my parents, as I do every year. Cried a bunch. I watched Belfast with my parents as well, which, like,
Hey, did that movie make you cry too?
It unfortunately did. I was very cool on it for the most part, but there was one scene at one point where the kid was having a conversation with Jamie Dornan, and then I was like, oh, great. God damn it. He got me.
He gotcha.
He got me.
I assumed that you would be less gung-ho about that movie than I am, because I have broader taste in some ways than you do.
Sure.
Helena, you're more of a film snob than I am.
This is true.
I say this with all the love in the world, like I said. But the thing about Belfast is that, like, people who are, like, quote-unquote real film critics are gonna think it's, like, tacky. And they're completely within their rights, even though it sort of makes me want to kill them.
Well, you shouldn't worry, because I think it's going to do very well at the Oscars. I think that...
It is, and then people are going to try to make me feel bad for feeling vindicated when it does really well at the Oscars. And I'm not going to, because that film is well-executed popular entertainment, and not everything has to have crawled up its own ass.
You know what was really devastating in that movie for me was fucking Colin Morgan.
What?
I
bet.
I was in a state. I was in a certain way. And I was like, I think I've taken the wrong message from this movie, because he was not a nice man, Colin Morgan, in this film.
No, he was not a nice man.
But my God.
I mean, you know, that doesn't mean he can't be extremely hot.
It was.
My question was, did you think it was funny? Because
there
were a lot of really good one-liners in that film, which I was sort of surprised about.
I thought it was funny, and I thought the kid was really good, and I was really...
Yeah, that kid was fucking great.
As always, I'm always really happy to see Kenneth Branagh's commitment to, like just letting the camera sit with his actors, especially with child actors, because that requires real fucking... like trust or something. Like there was like one scene early on, I remember, that was just like them talking to him at the breakfast table, that was just a close-up on his face reacting to what his parents were telling him, and it was very, very believable, and like and that's really hard to get from like a really I think a risk in some way when you have a child actor, to like let that camera sit there for that length of time and just let it go off of what he's reacting to. So that was great to see, and like just like long shots of, you know, Catriona Balfe's, or I don't know, I could be butchering her name, I'm sure.
I think it is definitely Catriona. It is Catriona, okay, but it's like, I don't remember. I should ask my mom, because my parents accidentally got into Outlander. My dad was like, my dad was having one of those, like, I don't want to like this show, but I also need to know what happens next in this show.
That's what happened to my dad too, yeah. My parents also watch it. I mean, I got my dad because of the Scotland connection, because we're Scottish, so fair. There you go. But... yes.
Anyway, I will shut up about Belfast. I just, like, I am bracing myself for a bunch of, like, people who are professional film critics being snide about that movie.
This is why
and
I
for me
Twitter.
To, just sort of be like, yeah, you're right to, you know, it's your right to have your opinion, and also I kind of want to end you.
And it's my right to have an opinion that you should shut up.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet, and I'm interested in seeing it, and
I think it's worth watching.
Just...
look, the thing is that Kieran Hines is one of the most charismatic men ever born, I think, as I have said on this podcast before, and he's just so good.
Also, if I may say, this has been a very good year for Jamie Dornan. I just, like, he was good in this movie, and also and I talked with our friend Chris, friend of the pod, Chris, about this over the break in an IHOP, was it, or was it a Sherry's that we went to that night, Maddie?
We went to a Sherry's.
It was a Sherry's. Chris and I had to have a conversation because he knew I was the only one out of that who had seen it, about Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar and Jamie Dornan's incredible, joyfully comic musical turn in that film as well. He just had a very good year. So congratulations to the 50 Shades of Grey alumni. Being able to break free from their shackles.
You're free, buddy. You did it.
Very good for him. I also cried. So typically my parents and I always watch the Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol every year as well. We didn't do that this year, but when I got home, I took advantage of my roommate's Disney Channel or Disney Plus account and watched the Muppet Christmas Carol for the first time, if you can believe. And that movie made me cry. So fuck you all. I watched fucking Michael Caine in the scene with fucking Tiny Tim, who's a frog, and he's singing the song, and it's just Michael Caine reacting to this little frog singing this song. It's so fucking emotional. I was distraught lying on my couch. Magical movie. It's really good. It's really, really good. Yeah. A very, very faithful adaptation too, for the most part. I think I talked with Peter, there's a couple of things that they cut out, I think, that I was used to seeing in some other adaptations, which are either, of course, as we've mentioned before, either the Patrick Stewart version or one of the many stage versions that my father has been in over the years where he's played Bob Cratchit. So there's just little tiny plot things. I was like, oh,
great role for your dad.
It must be, because it's the only role he's ever played when he's done that show. It's just very funny.
Really, they keep having
I don't know who else. I can't imagine a different role for him, so.
Yeah, it's just so, it's very enjoyable. This is when I was very young mostly, but he also did a production too when I was, I think, in high school as well. But yeah, he's played Bob Cratchit a good handful of times. So I've seen some versions of it there. But Muppet Christmas Carol, a very, very good adaptation. Great music. I saw, speaking of Portland, I watched Pig.
I was see that so bad.
It is really good. So if people don't know what Pig is, it's the Nicolas Cage movie that came out this last year, or 2021. About this guy who's just looking to get back his truffle pig that's been stolen from him, and it was set and shot.
I'm loving Nick Cage's renaissance right now.
Oh my god, I have to talk about that more in a second too, because my roommates revealed to me a couple of his new projects for the upcoming year. But this movie, he was really wonderful in it. Is it Adam Arkin? Yes, Adam Arkin was in it, and he was really good. Alex Wolff was really great in it as well. And this movie made me cry a bunch. Obviously, this is why I'm talking about it now for the second half. It's a really, really lovely meditation on grief, and art, and I just think it was really lovely. And it kind of made me homesick, funnily enough, because it was not really, even though I had just left the week before I watched it, just came back home. It was just it was nice to see Portland actually playing itself in a way that felt really believable. Even though there were some things about the plot that I was that probably doesn't exist, but who am I to say? And of course there was the nice thing about there are two actors in the movie who I was oh, I know this person. Oh, I know this person.
No, that's cool.
So always great to see people getting work and stuff. But yeah, really, really great movie, I think. I'll save the Nick Cage maybe I should just say the Nick Cage anecdote now. Apparently Nick Cage is doing a movie about himself, and it is called, hang on while I look this up, it has one of the best titles.
Sneople at the Movies, the podcast where we Google things before we talk about them.
It is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And the plot description...
Oh, king shit.
The plot description is a cash-strapped Nicolas Cage agrees to make a paid appearance at a billionaire superfan's birthday party, but is really an informant for the CIA since the billionaire fan is a drug kingpin and gets cast in a Tarantino movie. That's the plot of this movie. So this sounds...
I'm already obsessed with this film.
This is Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal, Neil Patrick Harris, Tiffany Haddish. That is the cast, the big names at this moment.
You know what? I really hope that Neil Patrick Harris is playing the fan who's a drug kingpin.
He's gotta be,
because I just remembered from fucking The Matrix that I was like, he showed up on screen and I was like, oh yeah, I fundamentally distrust Neil Patrick Harris.
Isn't that something? Somebody was saying something about that online the other day that was like, Neil Patrick Harris is one of those few actors who, like, I feel like he comes on screen and and he's like frequently has played himself in stuff, but like a totally, I assume, twisted and warped version of who he is. Like, I think
fucking hopes, Christ.
I think in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, he is also playing himself in that movie.
Jesus Christ, I forgot about that movie.
I forgot he was in it.
Remember, watched that movie and I didn't know what a White Castle was.
Neither did I.
Because we don't have them up here.
Never heard all of the people on the West Coast who were like, hey, what is this movie about? What's a White Castle?
He is in that movie, right? I'm not like fucking hallucinating.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm not seeing him on the cast list. Oh, Ryan Reynolds. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's playing himself in that movie. Yeah.
What was the shitty sitcom that he was on?
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, How I Met Your Mother.
With it, never saw a single episode of it.
I saw one.
I have no, like, he has no, like, positive cultural context for me, because he was a child star, right?
Yeah, he's Doogie Howser.
Yes?
Okay, cool. Somebody had to explain what Doogie Howser was to me at some point, because I was like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
It was before my time,
and then I have never seen a single episode of How I Met Your Mother. There's just all of these things where he was, like, sort of a fixture of, like, broadcast comedy. And I feel like I've never seen any of this shit. Who is this guy? Why is he such a sleazeball?
This is going to be a crazy thing to say, but I think the first thing I ever saw him in was Dr. Horrible.
That makes so much sense.
I think
that's probably true for me too, yeah. I don't know.
I am fairly certain that was the first thing I ever saw him in.
He has the look of a trickster about him, but not necessarily like in a like tee-hee way, but in a like I don't know what it is.
In a like I don't fucking trust you way?
Yeah, I just don't know what he's gonna do next for the most part, which could go either way, you know.
He's in every single Harold and Kumar film, which is extremely funny.
That's so funny.
Really funny.
I had no clue he was in them at all.
One Harold Kumar film.
He's done a lot of, like, he was in Starship Troopers. I think he played a very similar character to, like, his persona. Obviously, he's in
Starship Troopers?
Yes. Yeah, man. He plays Carl.
Oh, no shit.
Carl Jenkins in Starship Troopers.
Okay.
He is in, of course,
sure.
Oh god, it was on the tip of my tongue, and now I have lost it. It went away from me.
Welcome to Neil Patrick Harris cast, where we talk about a band that we don't particularly enjoy.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen Gone Girl.
Okay, really sorry. You say obviously like that's like an obvious thing to know about Gone Girl.
Yeah, I mean it was a relatively big movie. David Fincher's.
It was. I didn't know he was fucking in it.
Oh yeah, man.
Me neither, dude.
Yeah.
I remember that now, but I think I only know that
this is a fun game where Helena says things that he's been in, and I have to try and react in the moment like that's a normal thing.
Anyway, so I also things that made me cry. This is all connecting thread, right? Because Neil Patrick Harris has, of course, been in some, concerts of Sondheim shows. Like, he's been in Company, he's been in Sweeney Todd. I watched Tick Tick Boom.
He's also been in the bad version of Assassins.
He's in the bad version of Assassins.
I was gonna say, was he in Hedwig and the Angry Itch at one point?
Possibly, yes.
Yes.
But haven't we all? No.
That can stay.
And we all.
And we all.
Anyway, Anyway, continue.
I don't know, every time I hear about a male actor, I feel like I'm hearing that they're going to be in a production of Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Anyway, Tick, Tick, Boom, I watched, and I have mixed feelings about that. I obviously was like, this is a show about an artist who is 29, which I am, who is turning 30, and he's freaking out about it because he hasn't created anything. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. Also, it's about, obviously, Jonathan Larson, who I am a former Renthead, obviously. This is a true and unfortunate fact about myself.
This is a podcast of
reformed
Rentheads, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Look, it was a different time, like, very literally.
Very literally.
Yeah.
Also, the amount to which Jonathan Larson was influenced by Stephen Sondheim and to which Stephen Sondheim played a part in his life was very prominent. The number of references to Sunday in the Park with George in this movie were immense. Also, as well, like Bradley Whitford playing Stephen Sondheim fucking destroyed me.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't.
Dude, I'm not ready. Not ready.
There's just
I wasn't ready for it.
So good.
Before Sondheim passed away, and now that he has, I'm like, oof.
Yeah,
ouch.
I cried watching this movie a couple of times. There's some really good music in it, actually, which I wasn't expecting. And I'm excited to go and listen to the version of Raul Esparza singing it. Not that I don't think that Andrew Garfield doesn't have a nice voice. I think he does, but I always am going to go for the original cast as much as I can.
My boy Raul, yeah.
There was as far as movie musicals go, I think there was some really good staging of a lot of musical numbers. There was some inventiveness done with a lot of them that I think really does show from Lin-Manuel Miranda's experience in the theater, which is nice. I feel like it was a little too exalting of its subject in a way for me to completely take it 100% seriously. It felt a little bit too much like a biopic, which I know that it kind of is autobiographical in a sense, the Tick, Tick, Boom, so it's hard to step away from that, but it felt a little bit too close to exalting Jonathan Larson in a meta sense that more than I was comfortable with. But the Sunday in the Park with George references and the scene where he talks about sharing his song or his musical with these industry people, and it's some guy played by Richard Kind, who was very funny. And there's a ton of musical theater cameos obviously in this movie, so if you are a musical theater fan, it'll be very delightful for you. And also just a ton of Easter eggs and references to show to things like Rent that, if you are familiar with Rent, are gonna just make you feel a certain way. I don't know, positive or negative, if that's a thing. And this is a scene where he shares his music and Stephen Sondheim is also there, and Richard Kind is his character is bashing it, and then Sondheim says, I actually thought it was quite good. And Bradley Whitford playing Stephen Sondheim, I really think is a really good performance. He doesn't have he's not in the movie too much. They use him just the right amount, and it's always just oh my god, there he is. And he's physically, vocally doing a really tremendous job of portraying him. Of course, there is the scene where he leaves a voice message for Jonathan Larson that is the voice of the actual Stephen Sondheim, because he read what Lin-Manuel Miranda had written for it and was like, I wouldn't say this. Can I rewrite this and I'll just record it for you and you can play it?
Oh my God,
so it's one of the last things that he did was record this voice message, this fake voice message for this movie. So it's his actual voice, and it's just kill me. It's really lovely. But there is a scene in that movie where they're sitting on a couch watching the American Playhouse broadcast of Sunday in the Park with George and crying. And I was well, all right, so...
Been there, fam. Been there.
I gotta do this. I've never actually sat down and watched it all the way through. I've obviously listened to it a million times. So last night I watched Sunday in the Park with George. I swear to God, 65 to 75% of this thing, I was just crying. I I also want to like clarify too that my parents got. I don't know if I mentioned this. I can't have because I hadn't had it by that point. My parents did manage to acquire Putting It Together for me, which is the book about it's an oral history of the creation of Sunday in the Park with George. So I have been reading this and so had a lot of this extra context to like who the actors were, and
oh my God,
like that filling it in for me. And like all of the stress around Act 2 and how much everybody hated it. Not the actors, but how much the audience hated it and how like bad the previews were and how they didn't have children in art and lesson number 8 until like the last fucking minute of this show. This, I swear to God, is like probably the most beautiful creations I've ever seen or heard. It Sunday in the Park with George is so I can't even put it into words because they took all the words for it. They did it. It is I really feel like if anybody hasn't watched it yet and they want to sit down and watch it, it's on YouTube. It's also on Hoopla. It might be under a slime tutorial on YouTube, so if you see that, that's what it is. It's fucking great, and if you are a person, you should watch it. I was gonna say like if you have feelings about art, but like one of the things I really think about that really struck me in this show and that made me think a lot today, I think about the moral complexity in Sondheim shows, especially his stuff with James Lapine, like how there's no real villains in this show, and even like the closest thing this show has to an antagonist, at least in the first act, is like these Jules and Yvonne, Jules is this rival painter who's also kind of a friend of George's, and they're always, him and his wife are kind of dismissive of what George is doing. But there's this scene towards the end of Act 1 that is, like, you miss if you just listen to the music, where Jules comes to look at the painting and Yvonne talks with Dot about, you know, how her husband never paints her and what it must be like to be a model. And it suddenly became very clear to me in that scene, like, what the whole show was about. And I just, like, that's when everything kind of started for me. Just like the importance of like the whole like connect George, the only way to like that making art and having friends or having lovers is that we do those things for the same reasons, and making art is the same as like leaving something behind as an act of love. And like I'm making it sound really trite when I put it into words like that, which is why you should watch Sunday in the Park with George, because they managed to do that without making it sound like a Hallmark card. So please watch it. It's so good. I also was having like little moments recognizing people. I didn't know by name. I guess I should have recognized it, that Bob Westenberg, who plays the soldier in this production, was also played Cinderella's prince in the original Broadway cast of Into the Woods. And as soon as he stepped on stage, I was like, oh, that's who that is. I recognize him and his weird face. And of course, it was great to see Brent Spiner doing the show. And I lost my mind, because in the second act, he plays like a technician that's helping George with his invention. And he says that he has a really funny line where he's like, George, this is like too stressful for me. I have to go back. I'm quitting and I'm going back to NASA. That's his line. He says he's quitting and going back to NASA. I was like, oh, how the turntables for you. It was so great. I could just talk about it forever. Yeah, I love that. I love that show. I feel like it's slowly becoming my favorite, and I feel like that's, you know, that just is the way it's gotta be, man.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Truly one of the greatest pieces of art ever made.
It truly
I've said it before, I will say it again.
And you are right, and you are right.
It's next on the list for me, and I've been putting it off because I'm nervous about what it's going to do to me.
I'm like, I've been putting it off.
Very valid.
Like, watching because I haven't watched it in years, and I've been putting it off because I know it's going to fucking end me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I watched it alone in my room, and I had to take breaks because I was like, I have to do that now because short attention span with a lot of things, but, I was also just like, okay, I need to like not cry for like 5 minutes.
I need to have a lay down.
Yeah.
Hang on, my agonies.
Yes. I'm also planning to go back and rewatch Into the Woods as well. Obviously the Broadway and not the fucking terrible movie, which we've talked about before on here.
We have many a time,
and also Raul Esparza's Company is also on YouTube, so I'd like to watch that as well.
I need to watch that too.
Be good.
I listened to the OBC, but I've listened to his being live specifically like a bazillion times.
Yeah, I'm hoping
he's so good.
My mom is coming to New York in April, and we're hoping that we can get tickets to go see
nice.
Company, which is the gender swapped version of Company that's happening right now with Patti LuPone as Joanne. Is that her name? Yeah. Because we watched there's like one night when we were waiting for my dad to wrap presents. I think it was actually Christmas Eve, and so my mom and I just got stuck on a loop watching like clips of people singing Sondheim numbers on YouTube, and there was one from that same concert where Elaine Stritch sings I'm Still Here, where Patti LuPone sang Ladies Who Lunch, and it was like, oh my god, it was incredible. That, and we also watched her sing A Little Priest with George Hearn and Michael Cerveris. Ezra, I also, as you recommended, watched the version from the BBC Proms with Simon Russell Beale doing Everyone Had to Have a Maid, which was just fucking delightful.
Isn't it?
It's just, I watched it like a couple of times, I will admit, kind of in a row. Oh my god, it was so good.
Just what a silly, delightful little bonbon of a moment.
Yeah, and they totally played the comic value of that to the extreme, because they like Everyone Out to Have a Maid has like, it feels like it's going to end like 3 times in the song. So they sang this number with a duet, and then it ended, and the audience was like, yay! And another person came on, and they sang it again, and the audience was like, yay! And then another actor came on, and they sang another verse. It was so funny.
Rule of threes, baby! Rule of threes!
Anyway, that is all of the things that I've seen.
Yay!
Bernadette Peters is a goddess. That's all.
We did a whole ass episode, huh?
We did a whole ass episode on that, yeah.
And we're back.
It's like fun. FYI, if I haven't already talked about any one of these movies at length, could talk about literally any one of these movies for forever. Oh my god, it's just exhausting to put them all in
You did watch a lot of movies.
Yes, I did do that. Apologies.
All right. Does anybody have? Oh my gosh! I have the hiccups.
You have to do the outro with the hiccups.
I have to take us out. Oh well, home. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Come check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneopleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our logo was designed by Bethany Leuthold. Check her out at bethanyleuthold.wixsite.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or your list of the top 10 movies of 2021, come say hello. Also, if you can, leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends you think would enjoy it. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.
Fuck yeah.